Habs lose 3-1 against the Washington Capitals in Game 2 of Round 1. And now Washington leads the series 2-0. And there are a lot of things I want to vent. I'm just going to wait for the Constellation cat to go away because I don't want to yell right beside him. But I also have a lot of things that are positives, right? But I don't know if you've ever had to give feedback or like constructive feedback to anyone at work or anyone in general. You usually try to start with something positive. So the conversation begins with something positive, and then you switch to the negatives or the constructive feedback, right? I'm going to ignore that completely. I'm going to start with the negative because I want to get that out of the way. So there will be a positive after, okay? Anyways, what the hell? Excuse me, refs? How many times do the Habs need to get cross-checked into the face and also like backflipped into the eyes before you call anything? And like Hudson got sucker punched last game. You were watching that because you called the extra penalty on Gooley for roughing or for whatever it was. And then like Caulfield just gets, excuse me? Like he completely gets like shoved into the eyes with a cross check to the face, and they don't call anything. And that's with like what, 2 minutes left in the, or a little bit more than 2 minutes left in the game. We would have gotten a full-on power play. Sure, a power play hasn't been good, but who cares? You need to call those. I know you're putting your whistles away and you're trying to call as many power plays for each team, and I know the Habs had an extra power play than the Capitals did not this game. Oh, so you cannot call another power play for the Habs. Oh, we would never do that. That would be too unfair for the sport. Let's let them kill each other, you know. And it is the same dude, Dows, I think it is, that did hit a nasty neon Line because he missed the hit and just like puts the knee out on the knee that Line hurt at the beginning of the season. So dude is probably hurting like crazy now again. And you guys, I'm also mad at you guys, some of you guys, for like just piling on Line for not being the best player on the ice. Like, sure, he wasn't the best player on the ice, but actually during the first period, he was actually kind of trying. He actually tried to throw a hit. He actually made a nice, good play where he kept the puck in the zone and threw a beautiful pass to Armia, a beautiful pass to who just kind of missed a whole open net. And then the same thing, well, not with Line, but with Evans, where he has a whole open net and then he hits a freaking post. Like, that game was very winnable. Like, just put the chances that you had into the net, in the goal. Like, how hard can that be? Freaking Newhook, I was losing my mind. I am still losing my mind, obviously. Oh my god. Two beautiful chances, two beautiful open nets at completely different points in the game where we always needed a goal. Because, right, let me tell you something, we only scored one goal. So, like, any other goal could have been, you know, at any point in the game, would have made this game very different. How hard can it be? I mean, I know it's hard, but, like, you're professionals. You get paid millions of dollars to play this game. Like, you are there because you make the hard look easy. And like, sure, that was a hard pass by Armia, but like, you put that in, or like anyone in the team puts that in. Same with Evans. Like, Evans was great defensively, don't get me wrong. In the first penalty kill that we had, like, he was amazing. But we're not talking about the good yet. I'm gonna get to the good later. I'm still getting all the bad out of my system. And then Savard. Yes, I know he's the veteran, I know he's retiring and everything, but like, gosh, it's sometimes really hard to watch when... why would we put him out there right after we get scored on our... Actually, no, I think that was the first goal. Yeah, I think he was the first goal. Never mind. Okay, I think that's most of the bad I wanted to take out of my system. Okay, there's that. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk some of the good things that happened. I did I did start mentioning Evans. I know he missed that open net and he hit the goalpost, but he was actually pretty good. I mean, defensively, and honestly, that line of Evans, Heineman, Demidov at the start, because Heineman didn't play late. Actually, he was replaced with Newhook on that line. Probably because Line wasn't playing, so they just shortened the bench. Anyways, I like that line. Like they were fairly balanced. The Demidov wasn't exploited defensively. I think they need to give the puck more to the Demidov in the offensive zone. He couldn't, like, he's a playmaker and he needs the puck, but he needs the puck with space also to make something happen. And like, they're not getting him space, obviously, but we're also not giving him the puck. So it's kind of hard for him to do anything. But when he did have the puck, he was trying to create stuff. He's smart with the puck. So sometimes the smartest thing is just get rid of it quickly, right? And he did. Oh, there was one more bad thing to beat up. When he gets the puck at the blue line, outside the blue line, and he sees his teammates are inside the offensive zone, so it would be an offside if he brings it in. He just kind of tosses it to the middle of the ice and gives it to the Habs, where they get a beautiful scoring chance. It doesn't go in. But yeah, I mean, overall, Evans in that first penalty kill was amazing. Like, dude was reading the drop pass all the way through, and like he blocked two of those. He had a scoring chance on the penalty kill, so like, really, really good job by Evans on that PK. And then Monty, honestly, was crazy good. Like, the first two periods. No, actually, the last half of the first period, because honestly the first half of the first period we kind of dominated. I'm gonna get to that, but Monty was great. Monty kept us in the game for as long as he could, right? Like the first goal that goes in is from a freaking bounce on Savard's skate, which feels like we've had more of those going than not during this series. And then the second goal, he was just like left alone, right? And like, yes, he gave a rebound, but he was like redirect, and then he gets the rebound. Sorry, I'm having coffee right now, so well, maybe I'm not gonna have coffee while I record the video. Anyways, yeah, Monty was great. Monty has been great. I like they mentioned in the broadcast how he is a rookie in the playoffs. Like he is the first playoff experience he ever has, and like he looks like a 10-year-old veteran. Like he's been to the playoffs multiple times, so it's great to see that your goalie rises up to the challenge. Right now we need the rest of the players to rise up to it, and I did like more players this game than the first game. Like I felt like the first game a lot of the guys were nervous. I liked more Hudson and Gooley pairing this game. I think the first game they were kind of shoved a lot of the time, and like they couldn't get much done. This time around they were much better. And whenever you pair those two, the Hudson and Gooley, with the first line, like good things happen if you can keep the puck offensively. Because sometimes, like, and I said I was gonna get to it, but the first shift that our first line gets in the first period, they are paired with Hudson and Gooley, and they have the puck in the offensive zone, and they recycle it, and like so many times they go around, and they have multiple scoring chances out of that. Like, I know the shots after like in the first were like only 4 for the Habs to 10 for the Caps, but the Habs had a lot of scoring chances. Yes, we are a team that takes more quality shots than quantity shots, right? And sometimes our quality chances don't go to the net, so they don't even count as shots. But we played pretty well during the first period. Like after watching the first period, I was fairly satisfied because our first periods have been really, really bad. So suddenly having a first period where we're not down is somewhat of a blessing, right? And like I was like, okay, you know, that first period wasn't bad. Like we actually had some momentum, we actually had some really good plays. Yes, obviously Washington obviously had their moments too. Like I was saying, like our first line and the goalie Hudson pairing is really good when we get to keep the puck in their offensive zone, but they also got stuck in the D zone for a long ass shift, and like the Caps generated a lot of chances out of that possessive shift they had in our D zone, right? And like our guys could just not get it out. So yeah, there's that also, you know, like it's a double-edged sword. Like it's a very offensive-minded line and defensive pairing. Although they're on paper, they shouldn't struggle too much defensively. Like you have Suzuki, you have Gulli, Slavkovsky has also been pretty good defensively lately. So like there's no real reason for them to be stuck in their zone for so long, but that's how hockey goes, right? Anyways, and like the other lines were rolling well. Like I said, I was liking what I saw from Evans with Demidov and Heineman. Like Heineman was being the wreck ball that he is and actually making some plays and getting the puck back. Evans was not playing as defensively as he did the first game. You could see he was somewhat nervous during the first game because he was just like another defenseman during the first game, but during the second game he was actually retrieving the puck and like making stuff happen. So like that line was rolling, and the new hook Laine Armia line somehow was doing better with Armia than with Demidov. Like they were not generating too much, you know, but like new hook had that very good chance with an open cage, right? So stuff was happening. Like Laine was a lot more engaged than he usually has been. Like yeah, he was throwing hits, he was skating hard. You could see it that he was trying to be more engaged with the game and like get into that playoff vibe, right? So yeah, like I kind of like that line, the new hook Armia line. You know, I didn't love it obviously, but it is still I think our weakest line. But it was way better than what we saw during the first game. So I like that adjustment by Marty. And I was very happy with the first period. And then we started the second period and we score like pretty fast, and it was amazing. Like a gritty goal where with both Dvorak and Anderson going to the net. Like that line is a veteran line. It's somehow one of our greediest lines. Like they get dirty, they get in there, you know. And one more thing I forgot to add into the negative things or into the things I wanted to get off my chest. Quick parenthesis to get that off my chest. Refs, excuse me, like the Caps get to hit all of our guys into borderline boarding hits, right? And then Anderson does one hit that looks a little too hard on Wilson that it, like didn't even fully look like boarding, and he gets called for that, and then he gets called for cross-checking and the other guy flopping. Like that's a cross-check, but the cross-checks to the face of both Gallagher during the first game and Caulfield during the second game are not cross-checks. Those are shoves. Yeah, okay. Let's close the parenthesis. Okay, had to get that off too. Anyways, yeah, Anderson was also a lot more engaged during this game, so I did also like that, right? And I think maybe he gets an assist. I forget. Anyways, I think it was Dvorak's goal after all. But yeah, like I like what I saw, and that second period was starting great, and we were having momentum and whatnot, and then just one defensive breakdown by Savard and I think it was our first line actually, where we tried to get it out multiple times and we just could not get it out. Like Slavkovsky had a chance, I think Suzuki had a chance to get it out, and it was the Struble-Savard pairing, and I would say they have a miscommunication because nobody covered the left side, the left post. Nobody covered that. It was just wide open. I think it was Mike Michael that just kind of like brings the puck there and has infinite time to make any shot happen. Nobody was challenging that at all. So it puts the first shot on Monty, who saves it, and then tries to give a pass because Monty is close and all that, and it bounces off Savard's skate. Like, but he had so much time. Like, yes, it was a bad bounce. Yes, it was a fluky goal. Sure, call it what you want. But dude had so much time, and so close to the goal. Nobody was even close to getting to him. Like, I don't know what was that. So I think it was mostly, if we're being critical, I think it was mostly either Caulfield or Suzuki's fault, that one, because they mentioned it in the broadcast. They were trying to stretch the defense. The defense was nowhere near, right? So they were not a threat, and they were trying to stretch the defense there. I think that was Caulfield's zone that he needed to cover because Savard was back of the net to begin with. And yes, he lost his check, Savard did. But someone needs to cover that post, right? I mean, that's a whole hybrid system, defensive system that we've been playing now. So we get scored on, and you can see the momentum shift immediately, and then they score the next one. I'm not going to get into that one. Also defensive breakdown. Anyways, and then like the game that had begun with the Habs dominating and the Habs being the playmaking team and the Habs having the puck and the Habs having more of the dangerous chances suddenly becomes into this game where the Habs are off by like they're one step behind the whole time, and suddenly it looks like our first periods, but now it's the middle of the second period, and like that last half of the second period was just all Caps. Like the Habs, we were all one step behind all the time. Like suddenly they just felt deflated or something. Like I don't know what happened there, but it was sad to watch. Like we were not generating anything, and we were like just like falling onto the ice so much. Like we even had Caulfield and Suzuki like hit each other and like collide, and they were on the floor, and then Stavkovsky also goes for a slide, and like everyone was just like not in sync at all, or I don't know. Like it was really bad to watch. Like the Caps could have capitalized there a lot more. Like that game, it could have gotten out of hand super fast. Like yes, they scored 2 goals in 1 minute. They had a chance for another 3 goals during the last 10 minutes of the second period alone. It was all Monty. Like Monty had to stand on his head to keep us in the game and like have the game only be out by 1. So not something you want to see, right? But this is a team that has struggled during the first periods, or has struggled to have a lead into the third period, and that has come back third periods a lot of times. So I don't know what is said in the second intermission, but like it always works apparently, because we come into that third period and we come out rolling. Like yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it was a third period that just flew by because there were barely any whistles. For good and bad. The good is that there was a lot of good play. You know, it was fast play. Like the puck, we kept the puck a lot of the time. We were generating a lot of opportunities. I think we had like 14 shots during the third period alone, like 12 shots during the other 2 periods together. So the third period, like we were the better team by far, right? And Thompson had to stand on his head, and like he had to be the best player of the Caps, and he was. Like yes, we got goalied a little bit, but like we couldn't capitalize on the chances we did have, right, where the goalie was nowhere near the net. So we were the better team during the third period, and like you could see the hustle on everyone. Yes, it was a shortened bench. Yes, I didn't see Heineman. Yes, I didn't see Laine. I think we saw everybody else, maybe not much of Armia. And like we were only playing with 3 lines, and they showed that they wanted that game. They wanted to tie that game and like fight for it, right? They did not give up. And that's what you want to see, you know? Like in a nutshell, no, sorry, not in a nutshell, in a vacuum, it wasn't a great game, right? In the overall picture, it was a great learning experience. Let's remind ourselves that we were not even supposed to be in the playoffs. So like every good experience that our players have in these playoffs, and I take that third period as a good experience, as a good thing that our players did, is going to be ammunition. It's going to be good things that you bring for the next time you're in the playoffs, right? It's going to be memories that you have. Let me phrase this better. Next time they're in the same situation, they're going to be like, okay, that thing was a good thing we did. That thing was working. The other thing we were doing was not working. So now let's do the thing that does work, right? Let's get into that vibe. Let's get into that speed, because like they were playing fast. They were outpacing the Capitals by a lot, right? So now they know that works. Can they bring it into game 3 at the Bell Center? Of course you want to see that from the get-go, right? Like if they can play the whole game like they played the last bit of that third period, or the last 10 minutes of that third period, like sure, bring it in, right? Let's have that all game. I don't think they can, because like the pace they were keeping, I don't think they can keep up that pace for 3 periods. But if they can start the game like that, or if they can play, you know, the first 10 minutes of every period like that, yeah. I still do think we have a good chance at winning the series, honestly, or at least winning more games. I don't think we will go out in 4. I think the next 2 games at the Bell Center are going to be massive. I think they're going to be really fun, because the Bell Center hasn't had playoff crowd since 2017, I think it was. Because it was the Bubbles playoffs, and then it was the COVID playoff. And yeah, and then we haven't been to the playoffs. So 2017, it's been 8 years, I think they said. It has been for, yeah, so it was 2017. It's 8 years that the Bell Center hasn't seen a full playoff crowd, and we're getting that on Friday night. So I can't wait. I am excited to see what the team brings with that ambience, with that crowd going wild. Hopefully we can tie up the series at home, you know, and bring it back to game 5 with a tied series back at Capital One Arena, because we have all the tools. We've showed that we can beat this team. We showed that we can be better than them, and we showed that we can create chances. We just need to finish them. Anyways, that game was very winnable, and it was very upsetting for multiple reasons that I already said in the first minute of this video. So I'll leave it there. Very excited for Friday. I know you are too. Don't forget to let me know anything, the feedback, the good, the bad. What do you think about the game? All of that. So I'll see you after the game on Friday. But for now, we're down to nothing in the series, and I know we can come back. Go Habs, go!